this so that we can share this if you guys want to go back to it and listen to it later.
Okay.
The thing about what you said is that most of the vocabulary in this section, there's 2 or 3 words for every topic. So your book might use different words in different places.
Okay.
Than I use here. Okay, and they may use 2 or 3 different words in the book, but they all mean the same thing. Regression line, least squares line, line of best fit.
Yep.
All of those things mean the regression line, the straight line that it approximates the best fit through your data points. Okay?
Okay.
So that's what you're doing here. Now, they may have had you calculating R and doing a lot of other things, or doing predictions, or just finding the equation of best fit, which yours is calling the least squares regression equation. Same thing.
You're breaking up.
Okay. Okay.
Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. It was like blah, 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 like that kind of.
I said end of sermon, but you can talk now.
No, I think what you were saying though about the same name for everything, he gave us like examples of all, same thing you said, best line and all that. So that I understand.
Okay. So Jane just told me that you guys were stuck. So how can I help you?
So
give us a calculator function.
Yeah, like, because we know there has to be an easier way to figure this out, we think.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. So what have you been doing?
Well, we did the calculator functions for it, but we could figure out the calculator functions for the other questions. This one we can't figure out.
Okay, so you're trying to find, because you have the data on your screen,
Oh, sorry.
I can't see what find the least squares regression line, treating height as the explanatory and head circumference as the response. Okay, so basically, have you been getting regression lines on your calculator?
Yes.
You have.
Well, we
This
didn't get to
is
R.
telling you, okay, this is telling you to do the same thing in different words. This is saying, get the regression equation, and all this verbiage after it, it says, treating height as the explanatory variable, okay? Do you know which variable the explanatory variable is?
X.
Okay, so that means that when you go to your data set, all of your X's are gonna be in one list. So all of the heights are gonna be your X list, and all of the head circumferences are gonna be the Y's. So when you go to do your stat-calc function, your X list is gonna be L1, your Y list is gonna be L2. And then you're gonna round the result. So now, there's 2, I don't know if you saw it, but there's 2 regressions on your calculator, number 4 and number 8. I would suggest using number 4 because it is in the same format as your equation here.
Okay, so, well, I have to put all the data in. So
Right.
Well, I figured out what my issue is.
You did?
Yep, by the way, FYI, it's that the second one, if you read it, it is the A and B like I thought on the calculator function.
Yeah.
So it's A is 0.177, but the second one you only round to 1 decimal, not 3. So if you read the bottom part, it says round slope to 3 decimal places and round the constant to 1 decimal place.
Okay, so we're putting the A in the first box and the B in the second box, which is what you thought.
It's exactly what we thought.
Well, I have to put my data in again, so I have to redo it. So
I have to redo this problem too. So let's go.
Do you want me to show you why that is, or are you okay now to know that?
I think we're okay with that now. What do you think, Christy?
I think so, because that's kind of what we were thinking before, but we weren't sure.
We weren't able to work it out.
Yeah.
Should we do guided notes?
And
Well,
skip the,
finish this problem so you know what you.
yeah, I do want to finish this one and then we'll move on.
Okay.
All right, so.
I'm just clicking a bunch of times through this until I can get to the.
So how are you feeling, Shauna?
Good. I mean, it's hot and it's
Yes.
a
Do they have
little.
air conditioning there?
We do. We aren't using it right now because it's not like that bad.
Yeah.
But we have our fans on. Believe you me.
Have dessert, Mom.
Yes.
Okay. I'll have some ice cream.
Oh, Daddy's bringing home something, actually. Do you want to wait and see what he has? I don't know
Okay.
what it is. 17.
So I don't know yet, but it's getting to be a little
Yeah.
it's getting
Yeah,
a little but I did find that they have, by the way, you guys might want to be watching the Cerritos College website in the next few days because there's a board meeting tonight at 7:00.
Oh yeah, did
And I
you hear
think
any
they're going to
secret update?
discuss. Huh?
Did you hear a secret update?
I think they're going to discuss the fall semester at the
Can I
board.
give you a little hint? Not a hint, but my neighbor's daughter goes to Long Beach City College, and they already announced that they're going to be online. So isn't it true that most colleges do what the other colleges do?
It depends on the logistics, but
Okay.
Long Beach actually has an active coronavirus outbreak.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could make a difference.
Yeah, they have an active outbreak. So I believe it was at Long Beach Memorial. They have a COVID ward there, is what I heard.
Okay, so the slope is being rounded to 3. 4, 1. Okay, 1, and then my
There's like 1,000 questions on this one. I'm on G,
oh my gosh.
but
Really?
I'm not even answering these right. I'm just trying to start over.
The slope
Taking
to
you
3
forever.
decimals and round the constant to 1 decimal.
Yeah, there's like 7 parts remaining to this. So
Okay, now I need to do a similar question.
Yay.
hooray for you, Christy.
Yeah,
Good
thank
job.
goodness. Okay,
You
interpret
drew
the
the whole
slope.
thing?
No, I just did A.
You did part 1.
I was like, there's so many. How did you finish that so
Now
fast?
it says, okay, so for a height of 0 inches, the head circumference is predicted to be, so you're gonna look at what,
My R, right? No,
no,
not my
no,
R.
no. Go back up to your regression equation. Okay, so remember, X, your explanatory variable, is height, right?
Say it again. My X is the
Your
height.
X is, okay, so says treating height as the explanatory variable,
Mhm.
right? And head circumference as a response. So what this is saying is that for a height of 0, so if X were 0, right?
Mhm.
If X were 0, what would Y be? Well, if X were 0, that whole term's gonna drop out, isn't it?
Mhm.
And
Right,
so
so there's
you
nothing
would
to compare
end
it
up with whatever the B is, which is 13 point. Now you have to go to your B on your calculator
Uh-huh.
and you have to round it to 3 decimal places.
Okay. But I think for don't we answer this one is for every inch
Well, what is the
increase in
question
height?
asked? What is the actual question?
It's saying to interpret the slope and y-intercept.
So when you interpret, okay, so when you interpret the slope, okay,
Mhm.
you say for every, let's see,
Unit
for
or
every 1 unit increase in whatever X was, the
head circumference.
height,
Oh, height, sorry.
for every 1 inch increase in height, there's a corresponding point, whatever that slope was,
Mhm.
0.141 inch increase in 0.141. So for every
This
inch,
one.
increase in height.
Let's see if that's right. Yep.
Now it's going to ask you about the y. Okay, so this is what I was saying about the y-intercept.
Okay.
So here, for a head circumference of 0, the height is going to be whatever the y-intercept was, which I think was 13.6, I want to say. Yeah, so when x is 0, because that term goes out.
I remember this. This is all coming back to me from algebra.
Yeah, this is why this chapter is the main reason why algebra is a prereq for this course.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's all about the slope and the y-intercept and all that good stuff.
So I'm doing
You're doing for
for
a head circumference of 0.
0. Okay, yeah. 13.
For a height of 0, sorry. For a height of 0, because x is height,
Right.
right?
Okay.
The head circumference is predicted to be 13.6 inches.
And 1 decimal.
Because your x is 0, right?
Oh, wait, did I do the wrong one? For a
Yeah.
height of 0 inches, the head circumference is predicted to be 13.6 inches. Round to 1.
Yeah, but what are we entering? Go back up, because I forgot what the question was. Interpret the,
Oops.
no, you did that. Interpret the y-intercept, select the correct choice. Okay, it's not going to be A because that's a slope.
It's not appropriate to interpret the y-intercept.
That's the
Because you
answer?
wouldn't
That's
have
the answer.
a height of 0.
Okay.
That because the 0 height, I didn't see that choice at the bottom of your screen.
Okay.
It's one of those theoretical questions, but here, a height of 0, I mean, your child's gonna have a height of something.
Mhm.
How do you do this one?
This is where we change it, the X thing, right?
Okay, so you have your regression equation, right?
Yep.
You have your regression equation from part A. The hat thing means that you're gonna put whatever X they give you into your regression equation and tell them what the Y is.
Okay, so what is
Use
it
the
again?
regression equation, use it, the one that you did in part A, to predict the head circumference. So you predict the Y when
Okay,
X
so
is 24.75.
So you do
So-
the point, whatever your number is, times
Times the number
whatever
they
they
give
gave
you
for X.
and add my Y. So in Christy's case, it's going to be 0.141
Plus.
times 24.75 plus 13.6.
What kind of number are you getting?
17.08
Okay, I'm getting 17.18. So then it's
down to
17.18.
2.
Okay.
And I'm going to have 1 0 because I have a.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, that's all that means. Now it says compute the residual based on the observed head circumference. Is the head circumference of this child below or above the value predicted by the regression? So
Is residual the same as what we got for the answer up there? 17.
no, okay, so the residuals, you're gonna okay, so you have the predicted value and you have the actual regression. So you have to look to see, if you look at question help and you look at view an example, you can see, because I want you to see what the regression is. So keep going. Okay, this is, now keep going.
I have to go all the way to D, I think.
So, okay, so keep going. One more, I think. Since the height, okay, so now, okay, you rounded.
I'm going to this one, right?
Now it says, okay, so keep going. One more. So the residual is equal to the observed value of the head circumference minus the predicted value. So you have to take, now the value that you got in D, the value that you got, that 17.01,
Yes.
That's your predicted value, okay? The observed value is going to be the value that's actually in your data.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you have to go back to your data, and it says compute, I can't read the actual question, but it's compute the residual based on the head circumference of the 24.75 inch child in the table. So here you have to go back to your data. So click on your icon to view the data. Look at see your height?
Mm-hmm.
That was 16.9, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the data shows that the child had a head circumference of 16.9, yes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And your model predicts it to be 1710.
Okay.
Okay, so to get the residual, you're gonna take the data value, which was the data from your table, which was 16.9,
Mm-hmm.
and subtract 1610 from it, 16.10.
17.10.
17.10.
So the residual like formula is the actual or
Minus-
observed value minus predicted value?
Correct.
So
Right.
it can be negative, right?
Yes, it can. And that just means that if you get a negative residual,
Mm-hmm.
it means that your data value was below that.
So I would say the residual observation for this child is, for me, negative 0.08, meaning that the head circumference of this child is below the predicted value. It's above.
Okay, so
Below.
the residual for this observation, the head circumference of this child, the head circumference in Christie's data is 16.9.
Got it.
Right? And that is below the value of 1710 predicted by the residual.
I don't remember him teaching us this at all.
I don't either.
Residuals are not something that we usually, you can actually get, there's a column. If you look at your stat data,
Mm-hmm.
go to your stat screen,
Mm-hmm.
go to your data and your lists, and you should see a list called resid. You might see it in your edit screen.
Oh, let's see.
Let me see if
No.
I can.
I just have edit, sort, clear list, set up editor.
But if you go, I think I don't have it because it won't be there anymore. No. Let me just do something really quick. I'm gonna show you something because there is, but calculators vary, but it will show you the residuals. So let me do something here. Let's see. Stat 10 for 102. Show me the regression. Second catalog. Alpha. And whoops. Alpha. Hold on. Second catalog. Alpha. let me turn on my diagnostic again. Turn it on. And then let me go back to start until 4. And then do okay, so there's that now. Alright, so I have a well, let me change my data so that it's not quite so 10, 9, 3, 2. I'm playing with something because I want to show you something here. For regression equation is bars, y bars, function y1, calculate that. Okay, that's better. Now I want to do a second stat plot, turn my plot on, and then go to zone 9. Okay, so if you look here, if you look at my share screen here, let's see. I'm going to temporarily stop your screen sharing
Okay.
and show you this. So when you can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So when you see something that looks like this, I just made up these data, okay?
Mhm.
The boxes are the data points, okay? So anything that where the data point is below your regression line,
Mhm.
your residual will be negative.
Okay.
Anything where the data point is above your regression line is your residual is positive, okay? But when you go to stat, you go to edit, usually they show, let me see if it shows on here. Okay, it doesn't show on my emulator, but it might show in your lists. So if you go to, it usually shows it to me if I scroll over, but my emulator doesn't show that. But you do have the residual list. So if you go to second and you go to list here, you should see second list. And you see how down here now I have resid?
Mhm.
That resid is the residuals for the, I can't put it there, but the residual, if I wanted to put it somewhere, I could put it in, say, L3. But the residual list is the list of your residuals, and you'll find it on your list. Usually, like I said, on most calculators, if you scroll over, you'll see it.
Okay.
Usually they put it after L6, but that's where they store your residuals. And if you don't want to calculate them, if you have a lot of residuals to calculate, you can look at the residual list and find it. Okay?
Okay.
How are we doing?
Good.
Yeah? Feel free to share anytime. Sharing, so.
Okay, let's see.
Is
Negative 2.
this better now? Was this what you needed?
Definitely.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
It
notice
just gets
that.
a little bit time consuming. It's not that hard, but it is a little bit time consuming, and it is very detail driven.
For G, would it be reasonable to use the least squares regression line to predict the head circumference of a child who is 32 inches tall? It would be no, right? This height is outside the scope of the model.
If it's outside the data significantly, then it's not going to be reasonable. I don't know what your data was.
Let's see. The largest height was 28. So is that considered significantly outside 32 inches?
You're doing 32?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would say so. That's called extrapolation.
Okay. Or
And-
it's also called something else.
Well, interpolation is between the numbers that you have.
Okay.
Extrapolation is outside.
Okay.
Linear regression models are much better at interpolation between data that you already are looking at than they are at extrapolating it. Understand me?
Mm-hmm.
So, and the reason for that is within our data, like if the lowest point in our data is say 10
Mm-hmm.
and the highest is say 27, we know pretty much how it behaves in that data because we have the data, right?
Yep.
But if we go out to something else, we can't guarantee that that linear trend will continue,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, it could all of a sudden curve up like a parabola or curve like a square root function. We don't know. So extrapolation is a lot harder to deal with, and the model doesn't become as good. So you can't make that kind of an assumption past the data very well. You just keep it going, Christy. You're doing my job for me right now.
We missed our security blanket.
Around the, wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Missed our security blanket.
Okay, wait. Negative. You spoke too soon. Round the x coefficient to 5. Okay, I totally did not even see that. 0.00724.
If there's one thing Pearson will teach you, it's reading the instructions.
Yeah.
I don't know that
Yes.
I learned that lesson though. I continue to struggle here.
I know. 5, like, interpret the slope and intercept if appropriate. Okay, the slope indicates negative correlation, change in miles per gallon. Okay. Change in miles per gallon for an increase of 1. Slope indicates. Is that it? So let's see. The slope indicates the mean change in miles per gallon for an increase of 1 pound in weight. That's my guess.
Slope is the average rate of.
You said I couldn't have dessert.
Well, Daddy's bringing something home, so we'll just have to wait and see. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
With by the way, Christy, you're not sharing your screen, so I can't.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me go back.
But did that answer your question, or did I not?
Yes. No, I was trying to remember, from algebra and stuff, but I got it right, so I remembered something.
Slope is the average rate of change.
Right.
Okay?
Rise over run.
What's different here with the regression is you're talking about the average rate of change per unit. So it's for every 1 unit change in whatever x is,
Mm-hmm.
there's a corresponding change of whatever the slope is
Mm-hmm.
in the y variable.
Okay. Predict the miles per gallon of car D and compute the residual in okay.
Okay, so we did this.
Yep, it was the predicted
First you have
observed
to
minus
okay, but
predicted.
first you have to predict what d is going to be. So you have to put the x in your because this is the observed value, right? This is the observed one. This is the one you actually have. You need to put that value in your regression equation.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So you need to put 3655 in your regression equation.
Okay.
As x.
Okay. Let me go back to that.
Okay. Don't forget the negative here. And don't forget that you enter that negative as the toggle minus, the one at the bottom,
Yes.
not the minus sign. Because you will get a different answer if you, okay?
And D is 3, 6. Are you okay, Jane?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay. Clear.
This rounds to 2, Christy. Okay. Now, okay. Now notice something. Your predicted value, 2104, right?
Yep.
And your actual value was 22.2, correct?
Yep.
So was your predicted value above or below?
Predicted was below.
Okay, so the predicted values are the ones that are on your line of best fit, right?
Mhm.
So that means your actual data point, your actual data was above that, you see? So
Mhm.
when you do your, okay. Okay, you're doing it. So
Yeah. Is the value above or below the average? So my residual value they're asking about is, no, my,
your average was before that, I think.
what would my, I don't know what my average would
No,
be.
no, go back. No, not all the way to A. Go back to the other part of your, okay, so it says predict the value. Okay, is the mile per gallon above average or below average for cars of this weight?
Oh, okay. So my average would be what my data says?
So it's, in other words, it's the question I asked you. Is
Oh.
21.04 above or below
Below.
the average for this weight, which is 22.2?
Below.
Uh-huh.
No, wait. You answered it as below average. The correct answer is above average because the observation
So
is the line. Oh, okay.
this data, 22.2,
Mm-hmm.
right, is above the average that you got.
I reversed it in my head. I was saying the other number was below. Okay.
But that's what we're talking about. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I have to do this, which the following represents the data with the residual in shown in red. There's no red. I don't see any red.
You probably have to blow up it's probably that black dot.
Yeah.
You have to blow up pop it out, maybe?
Ellie, stop. What?
Can you call Dad so we can?
He's on his way home.
It's not.
He's on his way home. I don't know exactly where he is. Okay.
Pop it out, because it's probably that black number.
Well, actually, you know what? I can narrow some of these down by weight is X. Okay, that's right. Oops. How do I pop it out, what you said? How do I do
Well,
that?
see how you have three options on the side? You have the magnifying glass, you have the plus, the minus, and the pop-out window. That's the third one, the arrow with the box.
It's not showing me. Oh, wait, here. Let me scroll over.
You
This
see
one.
the,
This one. Got it. Okay, and
it's probably, what they're calling red is probably that black thingamajigger there.
Okay, I have to go back to the question. What did it say? Which of the following represents the data with the residual shown in red? So my residual was 1.16 miles per gallon. It's not going to be the last two because that's not in the right spot for the X. Okay. All right, weight and miles per gallon. None of these. I don't under. So are they saying 1.16 away from the line?
That your residual is that little, it's not the residual that you calculated. It's the residual that's on the data point. So they're looking at something like, if that's 34 and that's 36, you're probably looking at like 35 and some change.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand the question, I guess.
So, okay, so it says, let's go back. So what is which of the following represents the data with the residual shown in red? So the, which of the following is that residual amount? So you know, first of all, if you scroll up a little bit more so I can see the diagrams, because you should have weight as X.
Right, so these two are no good.
So the two in the middle are bad for that reason, okay? So it's not gonna be B or C. Now, the residual shown, huh?
Weight is on the bottom, so B could be an option.
The ones, yeah, the ones that have weight on the x-axis,
yeah,
are gonna work. The ones that don't have weight on the x, like the D is wrong.
Right. The last two are wrong. C and D.
I forget what, I didn't see what A was. But yeah, the only two that are gonna work are the ones in the middle. So now you have to pop out the little pop out with the arrow with the box.
For this one?
So you can see it.
Oh, it's this
There's your red.
Ah, okay, so that has to be the right answer. Let me look at this one just for fun.
But that's how you see?
Mm-hmm.
So.
But my weight shouldn't be, this isn't correct. The weight is on the bottom, but those are not weights. Like,
okay.
See how it's wrong? This says miles per gallon, but that's not right. So it has to be B.
Yeah, so you see how, but sometimes you have to pop it out to see that. That's what I was telling you.
Okay.
Sometimes the pop out option works.
What number are you on, Jane?
Number 9.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
They just have like 8 parts each, so it's like doing 40
like
problems.
1,000 pounds. I mean, 1,000 questions for a thing. And then each sub question has 1,000,000 sub questions.
But you see now how you're doing it, right?
Yes.
Does the residual make sense or not?
Yes. Yeah. In the diagram, not so much, but the way to figure it out, I understand. But like, I guess interpreting it on the diagram was a little weird for me.
Let me see if I have I might have some handouts on. I might have a handout on that. I don't know if we did, because don't you cover residuals in.
Are you tired? Are you playing with your brother?
No, watch PBS Kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Let's see if I have instead. I need 10. 10 point. Let me pull up the book. See if I can find this. Because I think he discusses it. You guys don't have a book, huh?
Digital book, that's it.
I bought the actual hard copy when I thought.
Oh, did you?
Well, I
Oh.
didn't know. It was my first time in college. I'm like 20.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't have done it again.
For every unit.
I don't think I've used my book in anatomy or this class.
Falls by
You haven't used it in anatomy either? That's
No.
surprising.
3.
Well, I have the same kind of, McGraw-Hill or whatever.
For every unit of change in the final grade, the number of days absent. Wait, what? For
Just
every-
Predict the final.
Doesn't really make sense, but. Which one are you watching, Ellie? Okay. What? This is the slope.
It can't be negative, Christy.
Ah,
So it's, for me, I have for every day absent, the final grade falls by 3.074. No negative.
yeah. I don't think this is worded properly. For every unit change in the final grade, the
No,
number of
not
days
unit.
absent.
I don't have that one. I have, go down.
For 0, okay, for
For every day
absent.
absent, the final grade falls by on average, and then not negative, but the
Okay.
number.
3 point, what was it? I thought I had to say unit 035. Cool. And then y-intercept, it's always not appropriate because, oh, maybe on this case it is though. Y-intercept is final grade. Did you put it, it's not appropriate to interpret the y-intercept?
No.
No, this is the one for every unit, the unit change, right?
For that one, I put for 0 days absent, the final score is predicted to be 88.233.
Oh, okay.
Because whatever your zero, for yours, 0,
7.7
Christy,
for you.
this is 87.7.
Mm-hmm.
87.7 for yours.
And it was 1, round to 3 though. Hello.
As needed, but it doesn't have 3 decimal places.
Well, it does on my calculator, but
on your
good question.
calculator,
Yeah, so I'll just put it in so that it's not picky.
87 point. Okay.
I don't know, Brendan. There's some might be bags inside bags. So you have to figure it out.
Predict the final grade for a student who misses 5 class periods and future results.
So again, this is your observed value here.
I have to put that.
72.5. That's the one that's reported. You want to put 5 in your regression equation and see what you get.
Yeah, of course. You guys run the AC?
Yes.
All the windows are closed.
Yes. No, I left them. Okay, so
So first you put the 5 in your regression equation.
72.5. Okay, so let me go
You could use it.
-3. And I leave it negative, right? When I put it.
Yeah, you're gonna put 5 in where X is. So negative 3.035 times 5
I'm gonna need your help with this one.
plus 87.738.
Oh, it could be a bad though, right? Well, doesn't it go into like one of our little? Yeah, it'll go inside through like your trash bag.
No. The one in your bedroom, it's like that shape.
Yeah, it's a shape. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. But it'd be like okay, 72.56.
Is my dinner in?
No, over there. In that little rectangular thing.
Is there?
Yes.
I made
Okay, 72. Oh, it's like almost the same. 72.5 up here, and I got 72.56.
Okay, so yours is your predicted value.
no.
Oh.
Okay.
You're
Predicted
rounding to
grade.
1 decimal. So 72.56 would round to 72.
Right.
Now, when
Or
you do
226.
Uh-huh. Now let me show you the. Let me
What is that? Can you put it over there?
Let me
So I'm just subtracting the 70.
So when you do your hold on, I'm trying to get, because I want to show you the page that I used. Hold on, I'm going to show so you can see it. So you have, can you see the screen?
I'm just
Yes.
doing things too.
Okay, so this is a picture of what, so this line here, this line that's going,
I just have to
that's
like.
increasing, that's your regression line. Your observed value is the one that comes from your data points.
Mhm.
Your predicted value is the one you get from your regression equation,
Mhm.
okay? So what this picture shows is that sometimes the residuals are positive and sometimes they're negative, okay?
Mhm.
So it says the difference between the actual Y, which comes from your data. So take the actual Y value, which was in your data, which was 72.
72.5.
Take that and the predicted value.
And subtract them, right?
And subtract.
Christy, can you tell me what's on your screen? What are you writing for this one? Because I've already gotten my 2 wrong, so I want to make sure it's right now. I think I fixed it.
What my little equation right now or formula thing?
Yeah, just read me your sentence. That's all I need you to do.
I can't because Shauna's sharing her screen.
You can't read what, do you have your own screen in front of you?
I can switch back. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, just look at yours. Thank you. I didn't want you to click it and move on and not have it in front of you. That's why.
So for C, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mine says the predicted final grade is blank. This observation has a residual of blank, which
No,
indicates...
read it. What does it have? What did you put in
No,
there?
I don't have it filled out yet. I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
I'm working on it right now.
That's
So
right, but I just want to, I only have the 3rd chance, so I'm watching yours.
okay, 70. Hold on, 72.5
Take
minus.
your time. I thought you were already ready to submit, so that's why I didn't want
Not yet. So I get negative 0.6 for my residual. Okay, and then this throws me off what I'm like when I'm comparing.
Okay, so that's why, here, let me show you one more time so I can show you this so you can understand. So here, oops.
So we're talking about above or below the line, right?
to. So if it's
Right.
negative,
So-
it's below,
Okay.
right?
if that means that the difference between the observed data value and the one that your residual, the one that your best fit shows is negative. So your best fit value was actually larger. The value, so that's why I wanted to show you the picture. Hold on. So you can see what, let me find let me find a better picture of this. Just give me a second so I can show you so you'll understand it.
I think you have to open a new one.
Just so you know, Christy, your negative 0.06 also has to be rounded to 1. It can't be
It can't
the
be
point.
negative? Oh.
Yep, I did it wrong. I just went ahead. So I'm
Round
redoing
to
the whole
one
problem.
decimal place. Okay.
So if you have a negative value for residual, the actual value was smaller. So your data value was smaller. That means that your value on the line was larger than the data that you had. So it depends on which way they're asking the question.
Okay, predicted final grade is 72.6. The observation has a residual of negative 0.06, which indicates that the final grade is.
Okay, so the final grade, the actual grade itself, they did worse than what you thought they were going to do. So the final grade was actually below, which
Yes.
is what you show.
Okay, but Jane was saying something like, I can't have a negative.
No, you can have negative. It's just mine. It should have been negative 0.1 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And just that. So you round that to only 1 as well. You don't do the full difference. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, round to 1 decimal. So I have 0.06.
You have negative.
Negative, yeah, negative
Yeah,
0.06.
it'll just be
That
negative.
means, okay, so what that means is that the student did worse than you predicted. You thought they would do better, but they didn't do as well as you expected.
I guess I just, to round it though, I'm going to put negative 0.1 if I'm rounding it to 1 decimal place.
No, well, if it's 0.6,
No, 0.06.
0.06 would round to
Yeah.
negative 0.1. Yes.
Okay. Yay. Woo. Okay.
Okay.
There's more.
So one more time, okay? Because it's two ways of saying the same thing, basically, okay? So if you have a negative value for a residual, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then your actual data value, the one that came from your data,
Mm-hmm.
was smaller than what came from your regression equation.
Okay.
The regression equation value was larger. Okay?
Okay.
So you thought that they would do better than they actually did.
Okay. Draw the lead star regression on the line. Okay, let's see how this one is. They'll look the same. Oh, no, they don't. Above the line. Okay, so. Nope.
You can share, Christy.
Okay.
So maybe the best way for you to remember is the actual minus the predicted. That's how you get a residual. Actual means
That I understand, yeah.
from the data in front of you. So if, okay, So if your difference is negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you took away a larger number than you started with, which
Mhm.
means your prediction was higher than your actual data, right?
Mhm.
So the line would be above your data point, or your
Okay.
data point would be below your line, however you want to think about it. So the data below represent the number of days absent and the grade for college students, and you want to find what? Draw the least squares regression line on the scale. Okay, so put it on your calculator.
Oh, okay, I have it already with all my data.
Do you know how to graph it?
Kind of. Yeah, I have directions on how to do it.
So you have X, you have Y, right?
Yep.
So go to second, then go to stat plot, which is Y equals key.
Hold on a second. Stat plot. Okay, stat plot on.
Now make sure it's on.
Yes, and I'm
Make sure
picking.
that your X is L1,
Mm-hmm.
your Y is L2,
Mm-hmm.
and then you want to, if you want to put in your equation, go to where it says linear, it says regression EQ or something like that.
I don't know. After X list 1 and list 2, it says mark.
No, that's okay. That's going to give you but you still need the regression equation. So
Oh.
before you do your scatter plot, I mean, it might do it for you, but if your regression equation's not stored, it won't do it. So, so go to your stat first,
Mm-hmm.
stat edit,
Okay.
and do your regression calculation. So stat calc for linear regression.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And run your, and then it'll ask you for the regression equation.
Which I
Now, when you go to the regression equation,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you can do vars,
Mm-hmm. And then Y var.
then y vars,
Mm-hmm.
function, y1.
Uh-huh.
You want to store it in y1.
Yep.
Now go ahead and run your regression, and it'll store it for you.
Okay.
Then do your stat plot. So second stat plot. And then when you have all that in place, you turn it on, you do all those. Now, you might, if your window's not set, you might want to do stat 9 for Zoom stat.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Zoom
And
stat.
when you do that, it will show you the regression equation.
Got it.
Now, make sure that when you pop these out, you look to see what's on your X and what's on your Y.
Looks like they're all the same. Let's see, my 50 to 100 is on. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but see, you'll see like some of them are below and above, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
some of them are.
I have one that's like barely below. Okay, let me just compare it with any others here.
So
No.
if you'll notice, like B, they're all below.
Yes. Yeah, that one's wrong.
And D, they're all below. So it's
Yeah.
either the ones where, notice that on the first one, you have more that are very close to the line.
Yeah. Which that's closer to what I think it's A. And it's right. Yay. Okay. Oh my gosh, this really is a never-ending question.
Would it be reasonable to use the regression line to predict the final grade for a student who has missed 15 class periods? Again,
It's outside the scope of the model.
It's outside the scope of the model, right?
Mm-hmm. So 15 classes, this one. No, 15 missed classes period, but outside the scope of the model.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't say it's not possible, because a
Right.
student could
Of
miss
course.
the class period.
Yeah.
Probably not likely, but it's possible. Okay?
Jane, do you want to keep going and finish, or do you want to wrap it up?
I think we should wrap up for now, and then we'll figure out where we're at, tomorrow, and see if Shauna has time this,
Okay, so my
Friday.
schedule tomorrow, I have a 6-hour Zoom slot. Pray for me that somebody comes, because
Well, can we come in? Can we like check in, and if nobody's
Well,
there?
you can-
yeah,
you
I
can,
mean, if
Christy, but
nobody
I work
comes,
all day.
I mean, I'm really surprised that Juan hasn't shown up in 3 days. That worries me, because he's never done that. But he usually, if he comes, he usually comes in the morning for like an hour, maybe 2.
Mhm.
So yeah, what I can do is I'll send you the Zoom link, because it's a recurring meeting Zoom link. So I'll send it to you in the morning. And if you're having problems, yeah, by all means.
What's the hours again? Jane, you said you're working all day?
8 to 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
8
All right.
a.m.
I'll
to
be
2
at work
o'clock.
that whole time, which is totally fine. Because Christy, if you want to hop in, you could always hop in and explain things to me when we meet at 7.
Yeah.
So
Well, if
But I
Ken-
mean, if you guys want to meet, but if you want to meet later, I have no problem setting up
Yeah,
a Zoom meeting later.
we'll just kind of text each other between today and tomorrow, and then we'll let you know. And if it works
Yeah,
out, great.
no
And if
worries.
not, I understand.
But are you guys okay with the do you guys understand the residual now?
I
Yes.
think so.
Okay, so one more time. So it's actual minus predicted.
Mhm.
Okay? Residuals are calculated for every data point, okay? And it's actual minus predicted. Where does the actual value come from?
The data.
The actual value comes from the data you're looking at, okay? The predicted comes from taking that actual value and putting it into your regression equation,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
If you get a negative number, okay, that means that you subtracted a bigger number from a smaller one. So you started with a small one and you subtracted a big one and you got a negative, yes?
Yes.
So that means that your predicted value, which came from the regression line,
Mhm.
means that your predicted value that came from the regression line is larger than the actual data. What that means is that when you see it on the graph, your data point, the points that you see, will be below the line. The
Okay.
line will be above it because the line is above your data, okay?
Mhm.
That's what, or you can say that your data point is below the line. So that's why I said there's 2 ways to say it, right? So a negative residual, your data point, the ones that come from your data, will be below your line.
Okay.
A positive residual means that your actual data point is above your line. So if you have a negative residual, okay, it means that your data point, your actual data point that you observe is below what you would expect it to be. So if it's grades, the student didn't do as well as you expected. Okay?
Mhm.
If your residual is positive, it means that your student did better than you predicted they would do. Okay?
Yep.
That's really the only thing that you have to kind of remember. But I hope that clarifies. And I did put it on the recording, so I'll upload this. It'll take a while. It'll probably take about 20 to 30 minutes because I have to wait for it to save it.
Okay.
And then I have to, but I'll send it to you as an unlisted link. If you want to go back and listen to it, if you want to go back and watch it, you can.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Shauna. I really appreciate it.
No worries. So we'll chat or we'll text. Okay?
All right. Talk to you later.
Yeah, at least I feel productive. Like I went to work for a little while today because I did a lot of babysitting my computer screen today.
Oh,
All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon then.
okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.